So far in all of our tests, the only thing that we've mainly been asserting on is the response code, and we've been checking that the response code is 200. The other common thing that we want to assert against is that some text in the body that comes back is actually what we expect. Rest Assured has lots of support for this, so let's have a look at a way to do that now. So we're going to carry on using the football API, and we're going to be calling this endpoint. So this endpoint returns a list of teams for a competition, in this case the Premier League for a certain season. So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to assert that we get back this count of 20 when we call this endpoint. So let's have a look to do that now. So we're in our football tests again, and we're going to write a new test, and we'll call it public void get team count one comp for one competition. Okay, so we go ahead and we write our given when then. So given, we need to specify the specification if we remember from before. So we specify the football request spec because we're calling the football API now. Now call the when. And we're going to call this endpoint again. I'll just hard code the endpoint in for now. You can always add it in with a parameter, etc., query param if you'd like to, but I'm just going to hard code it in here for now. I'm literally just going to copy and paste the endpoint, which is this part. And now we're going to add something into our then statements for our assertion. So we add the then, and we say body, and we want to check that the count. So that's the name of the variable that we want to check is the count, and we're going to make sure that it's equal to 20. So we're checking the count variable, so we see in postman that's this. We're checking that this variable is equal to 20. Now for the equal to, this is a ham crest matcher. Your IDE should be able to import this. If not, then you'll just need to add in the dependency for the ham crest matchers. If you Google that, you can check that quickly, but you should have that already. Let's go ahead and run this test. If the test fails, we'll know that this count is not equal to 20. So we've specifically put in that assertion there. So the test passed okay. We can see in Fiddler that we actually did call this endpoint as well. So we can be confident that we're asserting on that assert equals 20. So what else can we do? We could also check that the name of the first team to come back is Hull City FC, so let's write another test to do that. So let's say test public void get first team name, and I'm just going to copy over the code from last time because we're not making many changes. I'll just tidy this up just a tad so that it's a bit more readable. Given when then. So now instead of checking the count, we want to check that the first team name is Hull. Now in Rest Assured we can do this by adding in teams.name and then the first name that comes back. So the first name from all of the array. So Rest Assured does all of this work behind the scenes to convert this into an array for us that we can a tree that we can call down. So we see it will go teams, and then it will look for the first team's name, and it's going to check that that is equal to this Hull City. Okay, let's run this test. And we can see that that passes successfully. So that's quite a basic test for getting that team name. Now there's much more complex assertions that we can do. You probably wouldn't want to just check on the first thing that returns in the list. You might want to check that team with ID 343 is equal to Middlesbrough, for example. So we're going to see examples of how we can do that later on by using GPath, but we'll be covering that in a later lecture. Just for this lecture, I wanted to show that other than just asserting on the status code, we can also assert on the response in the body and check that it equals as we expect. So this adds more confidence and quality to our tests. Okay, I'll see you in the next lecture.